Good to see you this Friday afternoon. We're continuing coverage on the winter storm that is now making its way across the south, including into parts of the Triad, where we are getting reports already of snow and even a sleet mix way down to our south and portions of Charlotte, as well as to our east. Let's take a closer look at this system right now as it moves through southern states, moving into the Triad as we speak. Within the next couple of hours, I've already seen a couple of photos actually in Davidson County where we've had actually some snow covering the ground, as well as some other counties to our south as well as to our west. We're watching this heavier band of snow on the outer band of the system move into the Triad, bringing in those big snowflakes these next couple of hours. Look at the storm reports just in the last 12 hours across the Carolinas. You can see lots of mix of some hail, not hail, but more so sleet and a little bit of icy conditions, as well as some snow across the area. I'm sure we'll see even more of those in the next couple of hours, especially for our area. This is snow actually taken just within the last hour or so in Lexington by our fire department down there, the Lexington Fire Department by Jerry Tysinger. You can see the snow is already starting to coat the grounds here in parts of Lexington, and we're going to be seeing even more than that in the next couple of hours, but it is pretty impressive that within the first 30 minutes to an hour or so that snow started falling, we're already seeing it collect on the ground, and it's because of how cold the ground is, and our local temperatures are still going to be below freezing throughout the day today, making for pretty nice conditions for those heavy snowflakes to fall and also to collect fairly quickly as well. Local temperatures across the area, mid to upper 20s, lower 30s, 26 right now in Lexington with that snow falling currently, 31 in Greensboro, 32 in High Point, 29 right now in Asheboro. Let's zoom in just a little bit into Guilford County, 31 in Pleasant Garden, 32 in High Point. We are hovering just at around the freezing mark. This is going to be great as we head into the next few hours with that snow coming in, dropping a couple of degrees. I'm expecting us to stay in the upper 20s and lower 30s throughout the day today. Moving toward our south, we're 31 right now in Troy and Montgomery County, 29 in Asheboro, where we've seen a lot of reports also of snow moving into the area. Already seeing plenty of snow cover the roads right now in portions of the mountains, where I'm expecting even higher amounts of snow between around 3 to 5 inches. Feels like temperatures right now in the 20s, 22 is the feels like temperature right now in Asheboro, 24 in Greensboro. That's also going to stay below freezing throughout the day today. Now, we do have our weather impact alert in place from now all the way until 9 o'clock on Saturday morning. And that's something to keep in mind. This winter storm warning is going to be in effect all the way through around 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. And what this means, every county that you see highlighted in pink right here, we're expecting a wintry mix of precip for our area. The majority of the Triad, I'm expecting to receive around 2 to 4 inches of possible snowfall. More toward our north as well as to our west, a little bit less to our south as well as to our east. I'll show you more on that in just a second. Let's zoom out just a little bit. Let's expand out on the storm just to show you the widespread impacts of this system across several states. Here in Tennessee, South Carolina, Georgia, all across the deep south, we have winter storm warnings, winter weather advisories that you can see here also in the bluish purple across the region as well. A lot of states being impacted from this system, and we're starting to see the snow roll in as we speak. We see it right now in Winston-Salem. We saw it in Davidson and Forsyth, as well as Montgomery and Randolph, as well as some of our northernmost counties. Right now, we're still waiting on it in Guilford County. We're in the lower 30s right now, but it is certainly coming down in the mountains. You can see right now in Blowing Rock currently, we're seeing some snow come down. It's kind of a winter wonderland and Blowing Rock. I've been seeing just in the last couple of days that snow that accumulated just last weekend is stuck around, but we're going to see 3 to 5 inches even more before this thing really ends and wraps up and heads out of the area. But it is impacting roads up there in the mountains. We're currently at 25 degrees in Blowing Rock. We're going to be similar for us into this afternoon as well. Futurecast, here comes low pressure, and it's bringing in that mix of precip overnight tonight. Starting this afternoon overnight, I'm expecting this system to be a quick mover too. So I'm really expecting this system to be out and about offshore by around 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Snow out of our area by around sunrise, and as the system takes that moisture cloud coverage with it, moves offshore, we're going to be seeing much more sunshine on the back half of the day, and especially by the time we're into the day on Sunday. Now, we're still going to be pretty cold, seasonably cold, I'd say, in the upper 30s, but at least we'll be seeing a little bit more sunshine behind this event. Again, weather impact alert is on from now until 9 a.m. on tomorrow morning. It's going to be snow these next couple of hours, and then it's going to turn a little bit more into snow and possibly even a sleet mix overnight as that freezing line kind of wiggles a little bit more north. Now, the thing that you should know in comparison between snow versus sleet is a little bit more dense. And when they makes those little tink noises when it falls versus snow is, you have the big heavy snowflakes that can accumulate a lot in a very short amount of time. But sleet, on the other hand, that would be more of a less accumulation. So avoid travel during this period, especially with icy conditions that are going to be possibly arriving in the next few hours, especially overnight with that sleet mix possible. Futurecast from now into overnight, more snow on the way these next couple of hours. You can see that mixed precip line in the pink counties moving in overnight as well. Continuing to see more and more snow overnight and into early tomorrow morning, with the majority of this moisture out of our hair by around 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning as this system continues to push away from the area, taking that cloud coverage with it eventually. So expected snow and sleet for our area. Again, this is a map issued earlier on this morning at around 11 o'clock. Still pretty accurate as well, seeing 2 to 4 inches for the majority of us in Greensboro, especially to our north as well as to our west. In the mountains here and in the higher elevations and in the foothills, I'm expecting 3 to 5 inches possible for them. You're going to be seeing even more to our north and west, but to our south, on the other hand, due to that mixing with a possible sleet, I'm expecting a little bit less, maybe even a little bit of freezing rain that could coat the grounds and cause some hazardous conditions for not only just driving, but also for just walking along the sidewalks. This, they can freeze on contact when you have that freezing rain, and it can be pretty treacherous if you're trying to be out and about. Again, for the majority of us, we're in that 2 to 4 inch range from now all the way through early tomorrow morning. But to our south, I'm expecting a little bit less. To our north as well as to our west, I'm expecting a little bit more, between 3 to 5 inches. Freezing rain risk, I've actually upped just a little bit. Glaze is going to be possible for us up to around 1/10 of an inch with more sleet possibly mixing in overnight tonight. 1/10 all the way up to 1/4 of an inch. We've actually pushed this margin just a little bit up into portions of Montgomery, very southern tip of Randolph County, and also through central portions of North Carolina toward Raleigh as well. So going to be causing some very slick roads into the night tonight. Just make sure you keep that in mind. Make sure you're where you need to be within these next couple of hours with the snow starting, because it can create slick spots as early as this afternoon. But with that sleet on top of the snow, it might get even worse. So this is the latest snow timing this afternoon. We're already seeing the snow. It's moving in, and it's also sticking fast on the very cold grounds into tonight. Sleet is going to be possibly mixing in as well, creating very difficult travel overnight and into early tomorrow morning. For tomorrow morning, we're watching the system move out. Roads, I'm expecting still to be slick throughout the period into tomorrow morning, as well as for the afternoon. So that's also something to keep in mind. Storm timeline. Sleet and snow again expected in the next few hours, continuing early through around 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. Freezing rain on the lower end, I would say, of a possibility, but more so expected for very southernmost counties, like I showed you in that last map of just featuring very southern tip of Randolph and Montgomery County. Low risk heading into the overnight hours. Dangerous travel. You'll see the majority of this line is some of the darker colors like orange and red, because throughout the whole period, I'm expecting roads to be pretty slick at times. So keep that in mind. Make sure you are avoiding travel if at all possible throughout this time, and you're where you need to be these next few hours. Power outages as well could be possible with the freezing rain and sleet on top of the couple of inches of snow. Could be a little bit heavy for power lines as well as for trees. So keep that in mind, especially if you don't have to drive. Please just don't. Snow potential across the area. We look at several models. Here's one in particular that shows possibly over 3 inches for us across the region. And to our south, again, less and less the more southern you go, but as you go more and more north, maybe seeing a little bit more, up to 3 to 5 inches, especially in the mountains. A quick look at the winter radar real quick as we kind of start to wrap things up. We're starting to see more and more of those heavier bands start to enter the Triad within the next couple of hours. It's struggling to get to the ground right now in Guilford County due to a little bit more dry air kind of sitting over our heads. It has to get through that dry air before it can make way all the way down to the surface. Now, following this system, we're going to be back in the upper 30s, much more sunshine for Saturday and into Sunday. We're nice and dry to start next week with lots of sunshine back in the 40s, but cooler temperatures are on the way. I'm expecting highs to drop back into the middle and lower 30s by Wednesday and Thursday, slowly warming up later next week.